Hello, good evening. Today we are going to take a presentation about a very important topic. But before that, I want to tell you that when I joined my English course with Mrs. Wafa, and she was talking about meetings, and she asked if we had a meeting with colleagues, friends, or with anyone. So, one of my classmates called Mr. Amjad said that he had a meeting with his friends about climate change, and they were discussing the solutions for climate change. So, I decided to make a presentation about this very important topic, and it's really interesting to me. So let's get started. So, climate change. Well, I see it not only two words, but actually I see it as two completely different worlds. The first one above is the natural climate of our planet, the healthy one, but the one below is the situation of our climate now. It's really in a disaster. It's really in trouble after the climate after the climate being changed and after the global warming. So we will cover 6 points in our presentation. Why climate change is an important topic, and the definition of climate change. And thirdly, we will talk about the effects of climate change, and then we will talk about the causes of climate change, and we will talk about the solutions, and finally we'll talk about activists who are famous and support this climate change to save our planet. So, at first, why climate change is an important topic? Well, the answer we will get it throughout this presentation. So, be tuned. Then, let's move on to the second point. What is a climate? It's Earth's normal weather over a very long time. It's different from the term weather. Weather is for a short period of time. So, for example, today our weather is cloudy, and maybe tomorrow is sunny. So, something like that. But climate is for a very long time. And so, for example, the weather or the climate in Iraq is hot in summer and, let's say, freezing in winter. Freezing and wet in winter. And we have 5 types of climate on our planet: tropical, dry, temperate, continental, and polar. And to make this presentation short, I'm not going to explain these, just I wanted to mention them. So let's move on to the third point of our topic. What causes of climate change? Who is the responsible for the change? Well, it's because of human activities since the Industrial Revolution. It's because these points I wrote narrow them down: generating power, cutting down forests, manufacturing goods, and oil industry. All these are the responsible for our climate change. They uh, produce carbon emissions and the climate getting warmer and warmer. Then, what are the effects of climate change? What's the problem? What's the impacts of this change? Well, it's really trouble, causing more frequent and intense extreme weather events, flood, droughts and storms, and earthquakes, and many other disasters. The second point: harming health through air pollution, disease, and pressures on mental health. It's air pollution. Air pollution is the cause for most of our diseases. So, in your opinion, what's the solution? Do we have any solution? Yes, we have, on a personal scale and on a governmental scale. Let's first talk about on a governmental scale. What a government can do to solve this problem, and how can they implement solutions for this change. Exploiting renewable energy instead of burning fossil fuels and generating power by the way that produce so much carbon emissions. We can uh, take advantage of solar energy and wind energy and other clean energy that we can use them in our life instead of burning fossil fuels. So, and we have another point, which is afforestation. We need to plant more trees. We need to take care of this point. If we can't plant, then what the machine that can take or pull the carbon emissions from our planet or trees, a very good machine that can give us oxygen and take carbon emissions. And finally, we have strict rules on factories. The government must strict rules on factories and power plants to reduce the carbon emissions as much as possible. And secondly, on a personal scale, we need to save energy at home. Everyone should play his part, and we need to be serious about it. So, for example, if we have some lights or any other things that we don't need it, we can turn it off. And also, we can walk, bike, or take public transportation. We can bike and walk, for example, when we are going shopping. Instead of taking a motorcycle, we can bike to reduce the carbon emissions and to reduce the global warming. We need to play our part. Everyone should play his or her part. And finally, we need to plant in our garden. Maybe some people can't plant, but if you can plant, then you should. And we have some famous climate change activists. One of them, Greta Thunberg. This girl, the Swedish girl who support and who leads a protest to save our planet. And let's see a video about her.
We're running out of time to tackle climate change.
I wanted to act as if the house was on fire, because it is.
Let's repeat it again.
We're running out of time to tackle climate change.
I wanted to act as if the house was on fire, because it is.
Yes, our planet is on fire. The house is on fire. We need to worry about this point. We need to panic, and I don't mean to panic shouting and screaming around. It's about implement solutions, about being serious and showing apps, not just saying. So that's a very good point we need to be aware of. And finally, the expert advice says that it's down to all of us to change our ways and shake things up, or climate is going to do it for us. And thank you.